Sounds like a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to eat more healthier and all that.
Yes. Still got some Dunkin' Donuts next to me, so they're
Oh,
alright.
gods. I remember when Dunkin' Donuts existed out here. Oh, man. I was younger than Tren, to be honest. I was actually younger than Rand, so at the time when they last existed. Now there's a thought to think about. Alright.
God damn it.
Save configuration. Boom. So that should update the channel now. Live. Perfect. All is up. Oh. Is my chair? God damn it, my chair shrinks every time. Oh, I'm not even raising the chair. I'm picking up the chair. Oops. No, okay. It doesn't rise any higher than this. It usually does, or I thought it did, but yeah, whatever. Oh man. Okay. Also, something I was gonna look at. Channel. Or collection. There we go. No. Where is it? Oh, okay, so that's broadcasting. Yeah, this one we're not even gonna. What? You can add these to. Oh, reruns. Okay. Interesting. Hmm. The Flaming God, they muted my audio on that stream. Wow. Oh yeah, I need to go to channels in here. Let's see. I thought there was a way to set this up. What the fuck are you watching? Or listening to? Oh my god, that's funny. Alright. Where is just... Okay. Yeah, isn't there a way...
Hello.
Hello. Did someone join? Oh, hi, Zaya.
Hello.
Oh, hey, it sounds alright. Alright. I thought there was a way. I'm just looking for something right now. Save and then save. Okay. Where? I guess I can't set it up. That's weird. I thought I could. Okay. Interesting. Well, since we're in pre-show, God, stop eating whatever you're eating.
Cider donut.
Yeah, put the fucking donut down. So I'm working on a secret project right now that no one in the D&D group, of course, knows whatsoever. But there might be something interesting of a new game night of sorts coming up in the next couple of weeks. If I can get something going, depending on once I get all the lore done, or at least a good chunk of the races done, I'm going to try. I'm hopefully going to get done to where I can get a new game set up for something special, which will affect other games and should be interesting.
Okay.
I'm excited, but we'll see. It's a little smaller project. I'm kind of looking around the forums and stuff like that to see what I can find out.
Alright.
Wait, so I would have yelled at Robert sex trafficking?
What?
I don't know. I'm reading through rejected potential chat from last week. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So we're gonna look in the forums. Am I getting any messages? Also, might look. Let's see. Okay. Really nothing yet? Okay. Interesting. Okay. Holy shit. What? That dude actually has an 8-pack. Holy fuck. That's impressive. Alright. So no comments on this. That's kind of stupid, but whatever. The Island Green, the Great Seed magical item, has 90 views. Wow. Oh my god, explaining D&D to new players in a nutshell. Oh, there's a fun one. The Great Bath needs fluffed. Some of these topic sentences are amazing. Heroes of the Veil, what's that? Huh. Is this... Oh, D&D Beyond has its own D&D campaign on Twitch. Or on YouTube.
Hmm.
That's interesting. And then they've got dev updates. Oh, they've got a new update as of recent. I'll have to look at that later. Bookmark that to listen to in a bit. What articles do we got going on that's new? Oh,
Hello.
oh.
Hello.
Yo, Dolkin.
Hello.
There's the fucked up.
Says the guy with a children's movie in the background.
That's not a children's movie.
It sounds like something from a Nickelodeon show.
That's just a child and then a movie.
Mm. Still. And Fuka, I went through and updated the races for the unknown world, and I'm gonna be working. I think I'll work that up last at this point,
Okay.
cause I've still got a resource map I have to work up.
Alright.
I gotta get that stuff done next. Which, speaking of which, what all do I have left to do? I really need to make a to-do list. I'm telling you. Just so I can remember. But then I feel like the to-do list is just gonna take away from the shit I, would creatively do. I'll just go through the races and keep that up. I've got nothing in there. I'll move the unknown world here soon. Alright. Jesus. Alright.
Okay, Zaya, how are you doing today? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you're,
Stop. Stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking. No, 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 no.
there we go. It just sounds, yeah, your mic's going very robot-y. Hey, look how that fixed the problem. Now there's no annoyance. Don't you agree, Dolkin?
It's pretty great.
Yeah, Zaya doesn't have to talk. It's just making any sort of noise from her phone. It'll cause that issue. Zaya, you're fine to unmute yourself. Or I just muted Fuka because he was annoying me. Live from the Descent. Who is Zariel? So yeah, there's, like I was mentioning, a secret project I'm working up for this D&D world. As I'm finishing up the races for those watching at home and on YouTube, I should have something within the next 2 weeks. Hopefully, an announcement. I'm gonna try and see if I can get a group of players together for this. It won't be any of my traditional D&D players. So we'll see how that goes. But it should be kind of interesting to set something like this up. So look forward to that later on. Also, Fuka just deafened himself. But yeah, so something that will both affect the players themselves as well as affect the overall lore and story of the world. The main issue at this point is more of me getting a bunch of writing done that desperately need to get done that I have yet to do. So, also, I shall warn for those watching tonight, assuming we do have an episode tonight, it does kind of depend on if we can get all the players in here. And I know Zaya's mic is having issues, so we'll see how that goes. I've had a very strong coffee this morning/afternoon. I ended up doing another nitro brew, which was pretty strong and very good, but we'll see how things go from here. It's strong enough to knock me on my ass. I've known that. Mm. And what little is left, it's sad that it ran out. It's about the only fruity drink I'll take. Dolkin, are you much of a coffee drinker?
I do not drink coffee.
Really? Why is that?
Just never got into it.
But you have a college degree. How the hell did you make it through college without coffee?
Very carefully.
Well, what's your degree in, by the way?
IT.
IT. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm really shocked that you don't drink at least a pot a day. Holy fuck. When I was going to the Art Institute, most of the coders and stuff, I mean, there was never a time they weren't caffeined. And Zaya, I mean, I'm not surprised at your age. I mean, I didn't start drinking coffee till I hit 23, so when I started really getting into my accounting courses. So, yeah, you don't want to drink coffee before you're at least 21 because otherwise it'll stunt your growth and it actually does a lot of harm to your body. So, it's only once you get a little older you want to start drinking that stuff. Plus, at your age, you shouldn't need it. You should have all that energy. I mean, isn't that the beauty of the youth you have? No? Does Cameron suck away all the energy? Oh, man. Life sucks away all the energy. Fair enough. I mean, you're only in high school, though. Wait till you get to college. Depending on the degree you're going into, you're gonna, you're gonna want all that energy. You're gonna need to start drinking coffee. Like tonight, I'm willing to wait as long as I can. Well, that's fair. I mean, Fuka just started up college, so with a psychology major and a minor in theater, he's gonna start to get the feel of that as he gets to university. So I can tell you this term with my 2 finance classes, I'm gonna be dying. There are some that say teenagers truly don't wake up till 10. For one, second this. Yeah, there's a study that says that you're not supposed to be going and learning at school before 10 a.m. or something like that because it's not health. It's healthier development because teenagers are designed. I think something like chemically. I can't remember what the whole story was. Something about the fact that they learn better in the afternoon and evening. Um, your school starts at 8, so do most high schools at this point, I think. God, I don't miss high school. That's the one nice thing about college classes. You can set them up to where they start when you want them to. Well, for the most part. Like, I'm in class usually from 11 to 3 or 11 to 4, and then I go home. Of course, though, I'm the idiot who works in the morning, 8 a.m. to whatever, and then goes to classes and goes to the gym at 5 a.m. So, that's. Yeah. Don't grow up. But Zaya, just do yourself a favor. Stay away from the gym, and you'll never have to worry about waking up early once you get out of high school. Yeah, that sounds great, DM. Let's trade. You want to get up at 5 a.m. Trend to go work out for an hour and a half, and then go to work at 8, and then because I have an hour and a half commutes every morning. So if I find the Fountain of Youth, I'll let you know. Stop aging. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I don't mind. I've actually getting up to 26. It's kind of nice just because of the fact that as you get older, people, I don't know, people treat you differently, but not by much. It's just different. I don't miss high school. And I don't miss the days I couldn't grow a beard.
Oh, high school sucked.
There you go. Straight from the
I would
dog's
never
mouth.
go back.
Well, I mean, nowadays, I guess I mean, in the modern day, hell no,
No.
I wouldn't survive in high school. Your guys' generation fell, and those who are younger have all these new politically correct terminologies and words and stuff like that. It's very different than when I went. Not in the subjects they teach us. I think the only difference now between now and back then is the fact that they took cursive out of school.
I still had to learn cursive. Bad about
Well, fair enough. And Tren, the reason you can't hear it is because Zaya's typing and Fell just joined and Dulkin's not chatting, and then I've got Fuka muted because he was being an asshole. So.
Oh, what did he do?
Oh, he was just being mean to poor Zaya or Maya here.
Glad
So
Was
to
he?
know my name has been cemented into your memory.
takes me a second. I've been up since 5. Thank you. I've been
I
dealing
don't
with
know how you're alive.
honestly pure determination. But to be fair, a lot of times most of my college work and most of the lore gets written in the morning, so I can crash in the evenings and relax. Cause I go to bed at like 8 p.m. 8 9, depending on the study session. But yeah, so usual stuff, pretty much. But yeah, no, as I was saying, yeah, I don't think I'd survive in today's high schools. I mean, honestly, the whole politically correct bullshit you guys have to deal with. I mean, I get that there's some stuff that needed to be dealt with, but no, thank you. Not my thing. Plus, there's more school shootings nowadays, and my dumbass is one of those types who's gonna try and stop the shooter with a pencil. And unfortunately, I'm not Keanu Reeves.
Gosh.
So, but
I
no.
think when I was in elementary at one point, the bank in town closed now. It got robbed while I was in like elementary. We had a hard lockdown.
Oh, that reminds me of a funny ass story. Actually, a good story of racism. Let me tell you this amazing tale.
Racism.
So, at the time I was about 10, roughly. It was a day off. I was out with my mother. We were going to the bank. My stepfather was sitting in the car, full armed, at the time. And so we go into this bank. It was a U.S. bank, for those who don't know or need to know. And so we were sitting in there, and it's a normal day, sunny afternoon. It is in a more of a ghetto-ish area, but it's not like, I don't mean like ghetto as in people get shot on the block everywhere. I just mean ghetto as in there's a lot more poor people, and a lot more homeless, and a lot more drugs. So it wasn't the greatest area to grow up in, but it wasn't exactly the dangerous. But I digress. So we walk in, and we're staying in line, and the line is probably almost to the door. I mean, there's the zigzag all the way out, and so we think we're gonna be here for a good half an hour. My mother's got this check to deposit. I've got a bunch of checks to deposit from Christmas money and birthday money. So we're staying there, and then the lady comes up, the manager comes up to the group and says, "I'm sorry to inform you all, but you'll be the last of our customers. We're gonna be locking the doors right now. So only the only people can get or can leave. They can't get in. The 2 other U.S. banks have been hit by a group of 3 black gentlemen." And I'm like, okay, whatever. And not literally on cue. And this dude walks in, black guy, chains down to his belly button, gold rings, fucking sports jersey, sagging pants, walks in and goes and sits down waiting to talk to a loan officer. People start to kind of eye him, and he had no idea what's going on. He's like looking, all these white folk are just staring at him. And so
Gosh.
about 3 people leave, deciding it's, whatever. 2 seconds later, another gentleman walks in, dreads, kind of looking more like a Jamaican, but kind of ghetto-fied American. Very loose-fitting clothes, walks in, literally all but me and my mother and 2 other customers that are like 30 walk out the door. Not even gonna
Gosh.
try. And these 2 gentlemen are looking at each other because both of them are sitting in the chair chatting with each other. And I hear one go, what the fuck is happening? I'm just here to see if I can get a house loan. And the other goes, yeah, I'm here to get a percentage on my car loan. And I'm sitting there. My mother is like watching them. I am trying not to laugh. And so we go up to the teller, we get out, and as we're walking out, of course, again, the door opens, and this other gentleman walks in. Another black gentleman. This one wearing a full suit. Everybody that was left behind us, we had like 2 people left behind us, walked out. Said, fuck this. And the tellers, you could see, were starting to sweat and get nervous. 2 of them locked their windows. There's only one lady left, and it was this bigger woman. She's just eyeing them. The 2 loan officers are watching these guys getting ready to deal with something. And so we sit in the car waiting. All 3 gentlemen, do their business and leave, no issue. And you can see the bank manager come up, lock the door, or make sure the door is locked, and literally sweating. It was so bad. Oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh.
That was a good day. I've never seen these. I mean, these people were so afraid that this was gonna happen. Oh my god. It was a good day. Oh man. And that was just one time. I mean, shit like this happened all the time at work. Grew up. It was so bad. But that was the best racist robbery story I've ever had. But yeah, I mean, those guys couldn't have known what was going on. I mean, there's no way. I really hope the bank manager, after everyone left and these gentlemen were sitting in there, informed them of what was going on, so that, because I would have felt bad that they thought there's just a bunch of asshole white people in this bank. But yeah, oh man, it was a good time. Jeez, but yeah, there you go, Fuka. You're unmuted. Um. But yeah, that's my great story for the day. I remember my mother, when we were driving away, my mother's explaining to Richard what's going on, or my stepfather Richard, what was going on, because he's like, why did everyone just start leaving all of a sudden? I mean, was the line that quick? And she goes, no. She explains what happens. He's like, oh my god, I kind of wish it had happened, because that would have been entertaining to watch. I'm like, oh, good, yeah, good man. You want your wife and stepson to get, robbed. But yeah, because I'd
Does
like,
he have a
Hmm?
microwave in the car where you can make popcorn
no,
while
no.
you watch?
It was, I think at the time we were driving the Oldsmobile, the vampiric Oldsmobile. It required a drop of blood to work. No joke. This thing, my stepfather being a mechanic for some 20 years, um, he, full transmission mechanic, but he worked on the full body whenever, or outside his contracting work whenever he got the chance. And this car would literally not start for no reason at all. He couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. He'd go through full diagnostics of the thing. As soon as he accidentally cut himself on the damn thing, it would start up right after that. It was the weirdest damn car.
The car is possessed by a demon that demands sacrifice.
Every damn time. I was
Form a
supposed
pact with the car.
No, I was supposed to inherit that car too. I'm so happy I didn't. Even though it drove fine for me. I never had it break down or not start for me at all. So, I mean, there was no issues. But anybody else who drove that thing, so I don't know, maybe it's the fact that I lacked a soul and it realized it couldn't get anything from me.
You scared the car to submission.
There we go. So it was actually technically that car is what I learned how to drive on. So, and learned how to hit mailboxes on. But we won't go into that part of the story. But yeah, so there's my interesting tales of the day. And I will mention we will be stopping at 5 no matter what if we go to that late for this session, just because I have to take off and go deal with some stuff. So just for
How many hours?
that would be from the time we start, which is 3. That's about 2 hours.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's normal time that we stop usually.
okay. Oh man, I like it when we play.
Longer?
Yeah,
Okay.
Just
longer
play.
games. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's how it goes at this point. I'm working on something on this as a side project that will be a longer game, but it won't be PC based. So, and when I say PC, I mean it won't be player character based. to better.
Sounds interesting.
Yep, this is my
Fair.
secret project, but again, until I finished up the lore, there will be nothing that comes of it. So, lots of work to do, lots of
Can't wait to break out of prison, guys. Everybody ready?
well, I mean, we've got no
yeah,
Cameron.
we're stuck
Yeah,
in
you
prison.
forgot the whole fitting Dibbis thing. How it lets us all in prison.
And Robert
Yeah.
squealing inside of a butcher shop trying to get himself free, being chased down by the
Ven
guards.
had to yell Robert's name and associate us with him.
Yep. And Dulkin, being the only intelligent one, stayed inside the smithy to be yelled at.
Zaya just
Weird,
wanted to
I'm
go
sorry.
and talk other world people, and she got sidetracked by Vanity too. Therefore, I blame them. I'm
Well,
shoving the blame onto.
that is how it
That's what
works.
all good leaders do.
Yes,
Shift
truly.
the blame on other people.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I deal with Fuka. He usually gets all the blame while I take all the praise. However, I do. Where is Cameron? Is he joining us?
I was just hanging out with him earlier today
Get him.
Ew. Why?
to hang out and catch up. He's like my
He's
only
funny.
friend in person.
That sounds terrible. I'm
Yeah,
No, be
so
nice.
it is.
I'm so sorry that that is your only friend.
Nah, he's not that bad a friend. He's just a bad D&D player.
I mean, I've known him personally for almost a year now. Actually, yeah, it'll be a year in August, I think, roughly. Or no, October, I think, is when we got the whole group together. But yeah, no, I can say he seems like he's a terrible friend as well.
Yes, let's just name this stream the roast Cameron stream. All right.
No, we don't have enough time for that today.
Too many
Sadly.
insults.
Not enough time. If there was more time, maybe. Oop. Oh, I opened the wrong thing. Let me open the proper thing. Alrighty. Yeah, still nothing there. That's annoying. Well, if you want to grab Cameron before we start, because otherwise I'm gonna start.
I sent him a text, so hopefully he responds
Okay.
and remembers we have D&D.
Hey, how does he continuously forget? It's been the same time.
I think it's cause he's been babysitting his nephew a lot recently, so he's preoccupied and busy helping his brother out. So
Okay.
that's the only thing I can think of. Unless he's like busy cooking dinner or something, but I think he'd know how to plan around.
Well, we'll see, I guess.
Or he just simultaneously combusted into a pile of ash.
Well, that would work.
That's also, yeah. I mean, that would stop me from attending D game.
I don't know. I mean,
Can't roll dice if you don't have.
we'll see.
Oh,
You're here. All right.
You're late. 20 push-ups.
I don't think Cameron could do one push-up.
I don't do push-ups.
Yeah.
Neither do I.
I don't think
Stop
Cam.
I'm not the late one.
I don't think Cameron could physically do a push-up. I'd be surprised he could physically do
I
a
can't really physically
crunch.
do a push-up either.
Yes, but you're a girl.
That
That's
thing
not
is, I can
unusual.
physically do both.
No,
You not only,
I'm just lazy.
I will record a video of me doing both if I have to prove this too.
Cameron, no one wants to watch a video of you of doing whatever.
Go ahead.
No.
Record a video. I'm sure DM would love to see it.
I feel like Fel. Yeah, Fel's here projecting her feelings onto the DM. I think you just need to kiss and accept it now. So move on. All right, welcome to the D&D session, everybody. I do have chat open just because of the fact that some people are having issues with their mics, so if the mic issue does continue, we will have that open. Otherwise, you can just see the rolls that are going on, because we don't have Tabletop Simulator up for today, because unfortunately I forgot to reinstall it. Because I've been playing Pillars of Eternity left and right. So,
Shame.
yeah, shut up. Says the guy listening to children's cartoons in the background. All right. Last time we left off with D&D, the party managed to somehow divert themselves away from the story. Robert almost got sacrificed. Venzorwin got the entire party in trouble, and Dolkin, being the only smart member and the newest member of the party, managed to realize that at this point it's better to mind his own business and do his own storyline. That pretty much sums everything up. With Robert having gotten the group sent to prison, well, actually, Robert got himself sent to prison. Venzorwin got the rest of the group sent to prison. They now reside in the king's dungeon below the castle in the midst of a war where within a week there's expected to be a full siege from the Black Widow herself. Dolkin here has spent the rest of the day working on the smith and has actually gained the new title of Apprentice Rune Smith. So now he can enchant weapons with runic magic. This will allow him in the future to use what would be basically tattoo magic for those who are familiar with 3.5. I believe it was in 3.5. Yeah, I think it was. I know it was in one of them. And thus use that on swords and other weapons. However, due to him being only an apprentice, he will have to continue practicing the skill and experiencing it more to work with enchantments and increasing his own gear and learning how to steal enchantments from other items. Thank you all for joining us. Let us continue. Starting with the most entertaining storyline of the group, Dolkin, as Fuka leaves. Alright, Dolkin, as the day goes on, the commotion vanishes overall, and you hear that the guards seem to quiet down. Your master, the master smith that you've been following under, finally lets you go for the evening. It is now almost pitch black out. Lanterns are out on the streets, lit. Very few people are out and about. Those who are seem to be traveling in some sort of robes, or seem to be in armor of some sort. Most of them looking like guards. A somewhat martial law seems to be enforced at this time of hour, as it seems to be around roughly 9 p.m. Your rest of your party has vanished. You don't know where they've gotten off to, and last thing they mentioned that they would meet you back at the store or the lightning or thunder raven. God, took me a second. Inn. So,
Which is where I will head to.
all right. As you head back, go ahead and give me a perception check. As you hear guards and other people talking about some sort of commotion that happened earlier. No, not Raven's song. Not everything's named after you, Zaya. Stop being that player. You're becoming a Zilpip.
Said perception.
Yes. Alright, so as you continue on your journey back to the inn, every once in a while you hear the guards and the cloaked figures seem to speak on some sort of commotion. After a while you seem to gather that apparently a giant boar was seen being chased out of a butcher shop, along with an elf and a small group being arrested by some guards for a commotion and an attack of a royal guard of the city.
I'll just keep heading to the end. Maybe it's a different group. Who knows?
He knows it's not. He just doesn't want to admit he knows
I
us in
wish,
public.
Dalkin. I wish. I really wish.
As Dolkin, as you arrive at the inn, entering in, it seems quiet. The young dwarven boy that seems to have been working, or elven boy, god damn, who seems to have been working in this shop, looks to you and says, "Oi!"
Hello.
And he looks at you and he's paused for a second, trying to think of your name. Looks at
Come on, boy, spit it out.
he looks down at the booking. Zaya? He says with a question mark.
No, that was
Yes.
one of my traveling companions.
That's all I've got down as for the 3 rooms is under that name.
I'm Dolkin.
Ah, Dolkin. Good name, hearty name. Anyways, I've got good news for you.
Wonderful.
And he kind of ushers you back behind the bar and opens up what looks to be this giant little basement. And down below, you see your companions all chained up, sitting in their rooms or sitting in individual
No
cells.
way.
And he looks at you and
It was
says,
a dungeon.
"So, I'll be honest. This lot was causing trouble from what I was told, and then I found them passed out behind the inn, so I kind of chained them up just in case there was any issues." And he hands you the key. If you want to let them out, I mean, they've already
Let
paid for
me
their
out.
rooms for the week.
Oh my
He's
Let
just
god,
me
gonna
this
out.
cut
is
our.
kinky.
He's gonna become an evil cleric and cut our throats, steal all our goods.
He looks at you and says,
It's not gonna do much to Ben.
it's they're all yours.
Castrate him.
So I'll be
Oh
honest,
gosh.
have fun."
We're now his
Let
property.
me out.
He also looks to you
I
and
just
says,
let out just the biggest sigh you've ever heard.
he also looks to you and says,
Zaya
"So
mimics Zaya.
I've also got some news.
Patterns.
Apparently, another group with a giant talking boar got caught and put into the king's dungeon. Did you hear about this? I mean, I can't believe what they did. One of them managed to kill the head butcher. I can't believe this.
No.
That's crazy. I did hear something about like that on the way back.
2 giant boars in one town. You'd think that, this lot would be
Wait.
famous. But, oh well. And he
Wait.
says, "Alright, the keys open the entrance to the back as well if you decide you just want to leave, or you can come back up through here. Just make sure to stay away from the alcohol down there. If I catch any of you stealing without paying for it, we're gonna have problems."
Sure.
I'm worried.
We got doppelgangers?
We
You
got
should be worried. You have 2 alcoholics
evil
in the party.
clothes.
One's a dog, one's an elf.
No.
Well, now there would be
There are
4.
2 groups. Am I the real Zaya? Have I been a fake this whole time?
So, Dolkin, as you go down, your party members are all knocked out and quiet.
Oh, wow.
Most seem to be
Loud snore.
most seem to be kind of groggy and a little beaten up.
Irritated.
But otherwise, yeah, they're all there. Zaya and Robert in one. You see that
Oh gosh.
God, I need a drink.
I don't want to
E2,
associate with him.
E2 and Ven in another, and then you see Dibus, the cat who seems to never be around when you need him. Sitting on a barrel, not locked up, not chained to anything, just sitting there quietly staring at a wall.
Well, I'll find Zaya
Hurry, little
and
bastard.
go to
Please.
Zaya, like shake her awake.
Oh, give
Alright.
me a better life.
As you open
And-
up the lock, it creaks open real loud.
No. Is it like she in a cage?
Yes,
Like, how is she
she's in
chained
a
up?
cell.
Okay, then I'm not gonna go in the cell. I'm just gonna, like, I don't know, throw a rock at her or something to wake her up.
Wow.
All right,
Magic.
give me an athletics check.
Magic.
Give me an
No, this is much more fun.
give me an athletics check, Dolkin.
Hellish rebuke. Hellish rebuke. Hellish
Yeah.
rebuke.
She's unconscious. Holy shit! Oh, please roll again. Roll again, please.
If you kill me
Oh,
with
God.
the rock, if you kill me with the stone,
Dicey never crits twice.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So as you pick up the small piece of stone and chuck it straight at Zaya's head, the thing
My
manages to
beautiful
dent her face slightly. She now has a nice massive bruise on her forehead, and it seems to kind of almost cause her hair to start to, flake over it a little bit. Blood starts to spew from her ears a little bit and nose.
Hellish rebuke.
Zaya, you're unconscious, but you also
And
take
he knocked me. He
you
gave me
take
brain damage.
yeah, you take 4 points of damage from that rock.
Thank you, Tolkien. I thought you were smart. I'm starting to doubt.
I
You're
am
our
smart.
only hope
I'm
in this
leaving you in the cage.
Dibis just
not good.
looks at Dolkin, looks at Zaya, goes back to staring at wall.
Because of my new madness, I have to help protect my party. Otherwise, I would have ditched y'all by now.
All right. So yes, she doesn't seem to wake up, and the rest of the party doesn't seem to stir as the rock kind of clatters off into the distance.
Oh, they are not.
Wait. How long have I been passed out, technically?
You don't know. You're asleep. Shut up, Dolkin. What are you gonna do?
I let out another big sigh and I'll walk into the cage and I will use lesser restoration on her.
All right.
Thanks.
Roll for
Does that cure my madness?
no
Does it cure depression
depression. No.
or stress?
Unfortunately, you've got a crit on that from your party of depression. So yeah, Dolkin, go ahead and roll the points back for her and. Oh.
It's just lesser restoration. It just clears
does it cure
blind,
existential crisis?
No.
clears blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
All right. No HP back. Okay.
No, just clears a condition.
Nothing happens.
I see how you feel about me, Dolkin.
She just continues staying there.
This is
I'll-
mighty suspicious. Dolkin, you should leave.
I'll give her a good shake. Maybe that'll do it.
All right. Zaya, give me a
Shake it
Constitution saving throw.
Okay, let me get my nice dice. See how this goes. Gosh.
As the rats scurry about quietly.
Oh,
Yeah, I got a
ew,
13.
a rat.
What was that, Zaya?
13. 1, 3.
Okay. As you suddenly awaken, you see this dwarf
Vomit on
standing
me.
over you. And he just seems to be staring at you in the deep shadow. And then off to the off to the left, you can see two glowing red eyes of a cat just sitting on a barrel, staring at a wall. You also suddenly you have a really
Back to the spear.
you also have a really bad headache.
Is there blood?
Yes.
Are my hands bound?
Yes.
Like, can I not move my hands?
Your hands are bound above you.
Not movable at all.
Well, you can. The rest of your body can move. It's just it's really uncomfortable.
Because I think most of my spells need me to be able to move.
Can she twiddle her finger?
Wait. Tieflings have tail. Could I knock him over with my tail?
You're gonna knock Dolkin over with your. All right.
I don't know it's Dolkin, do I?
Well, you see a dwarf. It's probably the only dwarf you've seen in this entire town. But sure, go ahead.
Other than that dwarf from the other world.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, Zaya, go ahead and give me a strength.
Wait, I'm looking at what other spells I have.
Vicious mockery.
So Dolkin, as you, I love that Ven deafened himself. Someone want to type that to him. Yeah. So Dolkin, as you look down, you see Zaya's eyes kind of slowly, or finally open, and she seems to be looking at you, kind of shocked.
And you're
Don't look at me that way.
Dolkin? What the?
What did you do?
Me? What did I do? And she like gets angry and she like pulls on the ropes, chains, whatever. I was around with stupid members of this party, decided to chase after cat who clearly didn't want to be chased. B, apparently get chased by butchers, and C, associate ourselves with the boar being chased by butchers. I was gonna go invisible and poof off, but no, I had to hesitate. I had to emotions. Can I? What? Where are we?
You're in the basement of the inn. Now I need you to tell me, did you end up in jail at any point?
What do you mean? Clarify.
Well, apparently there's another group that seems very similar to our group that ended up in jail last night.
I was not in this town. I can't say I haven't got some altercations in the past. No, I don't purposely go out of my way to get in jail, let alone I haven't in this town. This is the only altercation I had, and I wasn't even responsible for any of this. I was just.
As Zaya and Dolkin continue to talk, Robert, give me a perception check. Let's see if you wake up.
Boy.
Perception
I'll smack
to
Robert
wake
with
up.
my tail.
B?
I'll
Okay.
smack
Yes.
Robert's tail willingly.
Well, Robert's spaced away far enough from you that you shouldn't have to worry about that.
Well, I
Bitches
mean, how
mockery
long
him.
can tiefling tails get?
God damn it.
Isn't it like 4 to 5 feet?
I'm not sure on the tail length of a tiefling, but I can tell you it's probably not that
It can
long.
be
And
up to 3 feet, if I rember correctly.
God-
from
I
the
was 4
DMG.
feet.
All right. Um, Robert's still asleep. Not hearing any of this conversation.
His
Um,
brother.
Good.
so yeah, as you start to adjust to the dungeon, your eyes opening, you see that Robert's actually not chained up. He's curled up on the floor in a pile of hay next to you.
Why? Why am I chained and not him? He
Well, you
literally
do
just
see
got
across
killed.
from you, E2 and Ven are chained in a cell.
The boar
I'm a
is the one
dog.
who caused this,
Mm-hmm.
and he's
Why'd you shame
not
me?
chained at all. This is this is so stupid.
Now, I
Could
don't know
you?
you very well, Zaya, but I need to make sure that you're the real Zaya and there's not some weird second Zaya here. So tell
Okay,
me something only Zaya would know.
you know,
Your party is
let's
full of
see.
idiots.
Let's see.
The
I
world knows
know
that.
that we were at a town. We were fighting off gnomes, and my brother died there. And I know we got on a boat, and the captain hated Ven and it too, and I had to step in and save him. We got locked in the basement, and you were happy-go-lucky on top of the ship. Got into the town. There's people from another world. Apparently, there's a whole debacle going on. I
All
don't
right.
know much about you. You haven't told me anything personal I could use.
Yeah, this all checks out. I'm gonna I'm just gonna like
Yeah, thank you.
undo her chains or whatever she's hooked up with.
Okay. So as you undo the
How did my
shackles,
head?
your
What
arms
happened to my
drop,
head?
Zaya, and they're numb to all hell. And yes, your head still
Uh,
hurts. So it's
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
throbbing.
rub my arm.
they must have hit you over the head with something when they locked you up.
Can I insight check that? Can I insight check
Yeah,
that?
go ahead, but at disadvantage
I want
because you're hurt. Your head hurts right now, and it's really hard to focus on.
deception check, Dolkin.
Yep. Go ahead and give me a deception, Dolkin, and Zaya, give me a insight
Doesn't matter
with.
because I got a 4 and the first one I got was actually a 1.
All right, so you got a natural 1, and Dolkin got a 13.
The
Dolkin's telling the
innkeep,
truth.
the innkeep hit me with the stone. I thought that elf lady.
I don't know. I don't know if it was the innkeep. It was whoever knocked you out in the first place. I don't know how you got here.
Yeah, there was a gas, some kind of, and she like starts to think hard. Something went off, explode. I thought the guards got us. I was going to
All right,
go
Robert,
invisible.
E2, and Ven all give me Constitution checks.
Okay.
That includes you, Ven.
I know. I'm baby.
Wow,
taking care of
Robert's
an
very
Oh.
goddamn-
constitutional.
Yeah, he's a tank. I mean, that's what he's good at. Uh, It was
A wizard
Piplaz's
who's a
choice to
tank.
make him a wizard, so. Alright.
He would have made a better fight.
Yep. Bame Wolf for that one. Alright. So as Robert, E2, and Ven, I'm just going to assume at this point, awaken. They find themselves in the dungeon, and you are, as you're starting, I assume, Dolkin, you go about trying to unchain the other two as well.
No, I'm gonna make sure that they're. I'm gonna ask Zaya since she knows them better to make sure that they're the real people they say they are.
After a few minutes of questioning
Alright.
Zaya, they seem to be real.
Sadly, they're
I
the real
wink at
people.
I wink at the dog every 10 seconds. That's how I know you know I'm real.
Oh wow,
I
Ben.
don't know, then. You may not be the only person into dogs like that, but that's beside the point.
Maybe he's got a spasm now. Maybe it's a seizure. Maybe we should get him checked out.
As you lot are
I'm pretty
chatting
sure he has.
amongst yourselves and trying to figure out what's going on, you notice that the above ground or the above doors where you came through suddenly close with a snap, and you can hear someone walking down with a jingle of what sounds to be glass on that seems to be smacking against something hard.
Can I investigate
I
this?
really hope that's not a dungeon master.
All right, that was good. Zaya, go ahead, give me an investigation check.
Alright. Let's
And-
hope I roll
Uncle
good.
Todd, what are you doing with that glass rod?
Oh god damn it. And Robert, Nitu, you are awakened. Let's-
13 again.
The figure is shrouded in a very strong cloak. From what you can tell,
Are they short?
they are. They
Are
seem
they
to have
man-sized?
they seem to have a few glass vials around their belt, along with a simple knife,
Wizard?
a hood over their head, but you can't mistake in that albino white hair and those purple eyes for anything but Pipla's.
Oh. Oh
I'm
no.
not gonna insult him. I'm just
Oh
gonna wave.
no. Oh
I've
no.
never met him before.
You have E2.
Yes,
You
No,
you
met
did.
yeah, he's
you
Have
met him
I?
before. Yeah, you met him before you guys headed
Human
to the
He
life.
Gnomish lands.
experimented
Oh
on you before we left.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah, me
yeah.
and you.
Tonya?
Me, Robert went here.
Pipla's walks over and pets Robert, looks to Dulkin and says, "I don't even want to know."
I don't
I
know
want to
either.
get pet too.
He looks to E2 and does not pet her.
I'm so
Now, I'm gonna
That's
be
sensitive.
honest.
sad.
You lot are the biggest pain I've ever had to deal with. But you're worth something. He hands E2 and Zaya both a picture,
What?
a drawn
What?
picture.
What is it?
As you look at Zaya, it looks to be a tiny tiefling with
Oh no.
blue hair
Oh no.
and looks very
Uh-oh.
familiar to Blenton, but much
Can I
younger.
roll a save to make sure I don't know, don't vomit of shock or something?
Sure, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw.
Cause this is
E2,
like the worst, dude.
what you see is a small, what looks to be a child with white
Calm
hair,
down, E2.
This isn't
What?
mine.
Calm down.
white
Breathe.
eyes, and they look very familiar to what you look like when you're not a dog, when you're in your actual form.
This isn't mine. This isn't
Three.
mine.
Zaya
I got a
pukes.
3. I pant. I just tremble. I'm in shock.
Can I eat the
I
puke?
hate life.
God damn it.
I'm having
I
a
eat the
panic
puke?
attack.
No, Robert, shush.
But I'm a pig. I need to eat
You're a
stuff.
boar.
Boars eat
Ew,
basically anything.
Dogs are more
As
likely to eat vomit, I think.
Piplis looks at you two and says, "Don't worry. My master is taking them under his wing as his new apprentices. They will serve him well, and there will
Wait,
be
so
no
they're
issues."
not inside?
No, I took care of that when I knocked you lot out.
Oh.
I used a little bit of, and he, with a snap of his fingers, a blue light kind of sparks off of his hands. Magic, if you will, to age them quicker and to mature them to an age where they would be of use to my master. It's not every day that you get the heir to the Golden Empire, he looks to E2, or the heir to the House of Silver Song, and looks to Zaya.
Oh
So,
gosh.
I have
Not
gathered them up and brought them back to my master. I've also, and he looks to Dolkin to, I assume, confusion.
Probably, yeah.
I also made sure you lot didn't end up dead because the king really doesn't care for, let's say, having prisoners. He enjoys his torture. Instilling the memory in those guards was a little more difficult than I expected, but it wasn't too much of an issue. And with my different form and the manipulation of you lot, I was able to keep close tabs on you. And as he says this, you see a tall, slender, elvish woman come down,
ah damn it.
who's completely, her eyes are blank as she looks straight on.
What?
Don't worry. He looks to Zaya and
Duncan.
says, "Do not worry. She is of her own wit. She was just reporting back to me as needed."
You're really strong, right?
Maybe.
If
Flexes
this
dwarven
keeps
muscle.
getting any worse, if this gets any worse, I want
Do
you
you
to knock me
believe we
out.
could all smash him?
Wait, you want to?
No.
I put on a defensive stance, glaring at the
No,
doorway.
Zaya just wants to be
I'm
knocked out. So
joking.
you
I'm
have to listen to
joking.
this.
This is out of character. That's why I didn't do the voice. But
He looks to you lot and says, "Now, as you are progressing as I expected, I will leave you alone. Don't get
Badly.
yourselves killed. And stay away from the other unknown worlds. That has nothing to do with you until my master decides it does. Do as you are told,
Oh,
and there will be
Oi,
no
by the
issue.
way, I let your master know that that other world exists.
He already knew he's the cause of it, and with that, darkness suddenly goes all around him and he vanishes.
Wait, what about my family?
Spooky bastard.
And behind Ven, suddenly
Was
Piplis
Dibbit?
appears and whispers into his ear, I am, and then vanishes again.
Saya's just gonna sit back down
Ben's
on
gonna
the
just sit there and just be petting it too, like an emotional support animal, like, Jesus fuck, he's really that spooky.
How does Ben feel that E2 technically has an offspring that like isn't his?
I mean, how does Itu feel that he has like 100?
I don't think she cares.
Fair
My
point.
point.
I don't think she has high standards either.
The elven woman now looks at you a lot, kind of confused on why she's standing down here suddenly, and then looks back up to the entrance, back into the inn, and heads back upstairs.
Who is that?
Wait, Zai, you can get her now.
Try not to have sense crisis. Please call back later at the tone. This is
What'd you say,
so
E2?
bad.
What's up?
What did you say a second ago?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, I need to go comfort Zaya.
Jumps out of Ven's arms, snuggles up to Zaya.
Yeah, because I'm in shock too.
Feels mildly insulted, but is okay with this.
As you
I'm
lot
going to
continue,
burn the picture.
you
I
can.
don't want it. I don't. I'm gonna just pretend that file doesn't
doesn't
exist.
have the picture. Zaya just the picture's not in her
Then
hand. She's
feeds
just
the
on the
pictures
floor.
to the boar.
Oh yeah, feed it to him.
Robert, you have two offerings of pieces of
It's
paper
the
in front of you.
baby. It's Itu's child crying.
Alright.
Don't.
As you lot are kind of talking amongst
I
yourself,
just eat the pictures. Just
Thank
nom,
goodness.
nom, nom, nom.
as you lot are watching Robert numb down the pictures, Dolkin looking completely confused, and a lot of you trying to cope with everything that's happened, Divis gets up without looking at a single one of you, without moving his head, goes straight forward and heads up outside of the little dungeon, and goes back into the inn.
Yep. And I just walk behind him up to the end and grab another drink.
Barkeep looks at
have
you.
a cricket?
Zaya does.
I have a what?
You have a cricket in your
cricket?
background.
Oh.
Sounds like you're outside.
I
Welcome
am.
to Michigan.
So
I'm on the
yes,
back
as you
porch.
walk up, the man or the bar or the innkeep hands you a strong glass of what looks to be a very deep-colored mead, and says,
Gimme.
good luck."
Saya's gonna go upstairs and also get alcohol.
Then we'll follow and to help provide
I just
Itchy with alcohol.
Saya just like plopped down a bar stool, just like it's just like I need scene that'll numb everything.
He looks at you and says,
He's an
"Ah,
alcoholic now.
a house special." And he goes back down into the dungeon, reaches into a barrel that looks and comes back up with what looks to be a black ooze, and sits it down in front of you.
Oh, nasty. You're gonna put that in your
Wonderful.
body?
Cheers to a horrible life, and she just downs it.
Give me a Constitution saving throw. And Robert, what are you doing?
Wonderful. Watch this. Watch me
I'm just
succeed
going
and
to trot upstairs and then just like plop next to Zaya, just like waiting for
yay! I
food to come into
don't
my mouth.
succeed. I get a
Oh yeah, and Zaya, what'd you get?
4.
Zaya, you just as soon as you down or as you get the stuff down your throat, it burns with a very warm feeling you remember. It slithers down like a thick grease through your throat, leaving a hot trail behind it. As it hits your stomach, realizing you haven't eaten anything for hours, you fall over completely unconscious.
I just said I
fall
just
on
want
the
to be
ground
numb,
or
but
on me?
okay, this works. Am I dead yet? Can I
Robert,
go to a better hell now?
as Dolkin, as you start to drink yours, and Robert, as you wait for food, Zaya passed out. Ven and E2 drinking a strong mead. Um, people come in and converse with you guys on occasion. Yes, Robert?
Oh, I just carry Zaya and bring her to her room and then come back downstairs for her
Thanks.
to eat.
Alright, as you drop Zaya off and come back down, food is placed in front of you. It looks to be a nice big piece of ham, but you're not sure what ham is.
I eat my own kind.
Starts scarfing down plate after plate.
Mm, yeah.
You, Dokin, I assume you order food as well?
Yeah, yeah. I
Alright,
get a healthy breakfast.
as the food comes in and the night continues on, at about 11 p.m., the inn continues to get busier. Bards come in singing the occasional song, tales of the battles of the area, tales of the wars that are going on, tales of the gods that you all can't
Do I
stand.
recognize any of these tales?
You're too drunk at that point to actually understand most of them.
I'm too drunk to care, other than I'm petting
Is
it too
Zaya still
constantly and
passed
drinking more.
out?
Yes, Zaya's out cold for the night. Um,
Can,
Dokin,
can I get a long rest?
yeah, go ahead.
Yay.
Dokin, you notice that Dibus seems to vanish yet again, and then as you're sitting there, a few other people come in, some with strange markings, some who seem to be familiar customers from the shop. And one of the men come in, a young gnome. You don't recognize this man whatsoever. He looks more like you wouldn't guess a nobleman, but looks to be some sort of a knighthood, middle nobleman of sorts, dressed in really fine clothing, with a strange sigil of a bronze mask designed on his chest. And he looks to you and says, "The static is gonna kill me." Okay, there we go. As it starts again.
Zaya, is that you?
Yeah, it is Zaya, but
What?
that's okay. Zaya starts to twitch from electricity going on in her body. Everyone can hear it from downstairs. It starts to threaten the evening mood. The man looks to Dolka and says, you look familiar, young sir. Ogum?
I'm looking for him.
You, you're not him.
And I'm not him though.
Well, damn, you look very similar. Huh.
Have you seen Ogum?
Yeah, about a month back, he was heading towards the town or to the next town, trying to avoid all the battles. In fact, I got one of his pieces of work, and he pulls out this what looks to be a long iron rod on a wooden, what can only be described as what looks to be the handle of a crossbow, and a little mechanism at the back that seems to snap when he pulls it out. And he hands it to you. He says, "Yeah, he made this for me before he left as a parting gift to the town."
Uh, I will quickly examine it and see if I can maybe deduce how it was built.
Give me an investigation for this. Let's see if you can figure it out. Yeah, the master smith, the legendary master smith, suddenly understands everything as an apprentice. As you look it over, you realize it's made of iron, some sort of oak, and you not really understanding the mechanism. You memorize what the parts look like and how they assemble together, but you're not sure what this weapon does. And you also
This is
don't
all
seem
very interesting. What does it do?
And the man looks at you and says, "Ah!" And he pulls out a little rod, pulls out a sack of what looks to be a black fine powder, shoves it in, shoves a little iron ball in there, and shoves a piece of cloth in there. And in an order that you don't quite catch as he shoves a rod in, packing it all together. He points it over at the giant boar and says, "Would you like me to demonstrate?"
Do I notice where he's pointing it?
He's pointing it straight at the boar's head.
Maybe we should just shoot the wall instead.
Oh, well, that's no fun. And he aims right at the Robert's head, as from what you both can see, and pulls the trigger. The ball that seemed to be loaded in shoots out and nips Robert's head, cutting the little hairy out on the top of his head completely off, singeing it. and smacking into the wall with a loud explosion
I
as
need
of
a louder
smoke.
scream than that, Fuka.
As a black as a black smoke kind of impacts around it. And Alexian says, "Yeah, it's a great weapon for fighting at distance. Use this with a cutlass and you're pretty well set."
That
I do what usual
is
boars do.
It's like a
amazing.
gun.
Run.
Robert
Oh, he's
runs
gonna
out the
charge this
door.
now. Oh no, not again.
Robert, as you rush out into the night air, you see the butchers walking by that look very familiar. And the
Oh,
chase
no.
begins again.
I run back into the inn with a giant squeal of fear.
Zaya's asleep. Zaya doesn't have to do anything. Zaya's not associated.
As you run into the inn, running, the innkeeper kind of shoos you into the dungeon, pointing down.
Ven's too drunk to
I
care.
just run down the dungeon with nothing but fear
The
spreading.
butchers, he suddenly start. You see him open the doors again. The butchers start running down. You see the other gate seems to open up as you're running towards it. And throughout the night, Robert will spend his night being chased by the butchers, never being quite caught, but almost getting hit many a times.
Oh my
This is the epic tale of how the boar got eaten. All right.
And then he dies. The end.
So yeah, Doken, as the man looks at you, says, "Yeah, it's a great gun," ignoring completely what just happened with Robert and the butchers. Says, he called it a pistol.
Oh.
It's only one of its kind from what I was told, but he said he was taking this to this design to people who will pay very well for it.
Are we rich? Can we buy it?
Are you looking to perhaps part with it? I would love to study it more in depth.
Oh, he looks at the craftsmanship and says, "Well, it's an original work," and he shows you a little engraving. He says, "It's even signed by Ogum himself. I'll part with it for 4,000 gold pieces."
You're
That's
poor.
lot.
He says, "I mean, it was a gift
Zaya
from
can
him."
trade her body for it.
No.
Zaya's out conscious upstairs.
Yeah, I can't give consent.
And
Yeah.
unless
Perfect chance
Do-
to do it.
Oh, god damn it, Ven.
Oh, Ben, keep talking.
Yeah, Ven.
I ask, perhaps would you barter for it? And I want to show him the ingot or whatever the
Yeah.
shape of the blue metal. I can never remember the name of.
The lyrium
Lyrium.
ingot.
Lyrium.
Yeah. He
Lyrium
looks.
could be useful.
He looks at it and says, "What's the quality of this?"
I've been told it's a very high quality, very pure.
He looks
I
down
had
at it.
it examined by the master smith in town himself.
He kind of looks at it, grabs it from you, and starts to sniff it, bites it, and
Sniff it.
looks at it and says,
Licks
Oh.
Frostbite's tongue.
"It's pure, but I don't know how to tell you this, but the moment you work this, it's gonna kill you."
Oh yes, I know. I'm very looking forward to it.
No. I mean,
Zaya
he looks
wants
at
to be
you
a part of that.
and says, "No, let me explain. It has an enchantment to explode when you use it. Someone's
Yes, I know. When you apply heat, it explodes. I've learned this from the smith.
No. He tries to grab you first. He grabs you around the shoulder and says,
Ooh,
"Listen
it's
to
already
me.
gonna
Yeah.
already be enchanted.
This thing has a spell on it that will explode an entire town when it's forged."
Who did that?
No, that sounds absurd. Why would I be given that?
Dib it? I mean,
Because
sold
someone wants to kill you, boy.
it?
And he looks at you and suddenly looks in fear and says, "I am leaving." He takes the pistol and walks out
Was
at
it
a quick
the-
pace.
Was it the ship?
Yeah, it
Maybe
was metal
Dib it-
that was
maybe,
on the ship.
Maybe Dalkin isn't as like it thinks.
The man runs out.
No, don't leave. I really want the. Oh, he's gone.
As you start to kind of get up, he sprints out the doorway.
I will very casually put the lyrium back in my backpack.
Well, we could use it as a bomb.
No,
For
you should
enemies.
sell it to someone stupid and
Don't like.
I mean,
it's
if it only needs to be
Hipplas.
cool to go off, then I have a bunch of ice
Wait.
spells. I'm sorry,
Hipplas.
you set it on the ground, I cast an ice spell on it, boom, it's gone.
Well, it hasn't done anything yet.
Yet. He just has a nuke in his pocket. Duncan,
I don't
you're so
know.
responsible.
No.
Wait.
It's
You
We'll
didn't
kill
no.
off
incite the
if an
man.
ice spell hits him.
You didn't even incite the man.
Ben and E2, you're too drunk to comprehend most of the conversation at this point.
Good, I don't want to. I'm drinking.
I'm just gonna kiss the two again.
All right,
Screw it.
All right, let's make out.
Doken, as you have this conversation, you see the dog and the elf start to make out and suddenly both pass out as time goes on. You hear the
God,
occasional.
Robert situation.
You hear the occasional squeal of a boar running by the inn, and the occasional yelling of a couple of what sounds like gnomes and gnomish yelling to butcher that
Can
pig.
I throw acid on the floor
Saya,
to
sleeping
get them away from
peacefully.
me?
As Doken eventually decides that it's better to head up for the night.
Before I do that, I start hanging out with the bards and start like singing along to songs I know and things like that. Just having
Wow.
fun.
Wow, not with this bard though.
You managed to make a gold piece by the end of the night with the bards, as you seem to sing some tales of the old the mountain dwarves of old, and the well-known kings and heroes, as well as the Battle of Kin. Although you weren't there, you heard tales of it. And as the songs go on in the night, you finally decide to head up for your bed. As you walk by Zaya's room, you can hear from deep inside the gurgling and cringing of a body as it seems to be in pain.
I'm
Oh.
always in pain.
as
Mentally mostly, but physically as well.
as you pass out for the night and head into your room, the occasional squeal of a boar coming by rocks you to sleep, just like your hometown and the farm from down the block. All right.
I'm just thinking things are going great.
Yep. You're learning how to be a forge.
Did
You've got
you
a really
not-
pure piece of lyrium. I mean, it's a good life for you.
Wait, we didn't get to tell him about the world thing, did we?
Nope.
No, so he doesn't know any of that.
He
When
doesn't.
Piplis mentioned the world people, he was just like, who?
I
Yep.
was very confused.
Oh no, wait, but he knows they exist.
As
he
the
doesn't
morning
know
You
it
comes-
mentioned you mentioned something when I was at the forge, but then we considered we'll just talk
You
about when I
met
get done
that
here.
one lady from different
He-
world, but
Yes, he
didn't
did, but
explain
he
the
didn't get a
thing.
chance to really understand what was going on, and he met Conrad for a second, but again, didn't understand much of what was going on as he was being yelled at by the forge master. As you lot continue into the night, Robert never getting his long rest. Eventually, by morning, Mitt, giving it a second.
Zaya, please mute. Please mute. Stop right now.
She's all right. Don't I was willing to let
I've
it
been
pass.
thinking that was me, and I keep fiddling with my microphone to fix it.
It's okay, Zaya. My mic is possessed. It's no worries. All right, yeah. So as the night goes on, Robert, by around 5 a.m. in the morning, you manage to finally outrun the butchers who seem to just give up, utterly not caring. Occasionally missing a trap or two as they try to lure you out with pieces of cheese and then pitchfork you in the middle of a alleyway. You manage to get a piece of cheese and run off each time, barely out sprinting this lot. People watching and laughing in hilarity at the sight.
Did I
E2,
get any gold pieces out
Is
of
this
this?
like Tom
No.
and Jerry then?
you
Is
pretty
it a Tom and
much
Jerry kind of thing?
yes.
That's not fair.
No.
I had to run my life.
Yep, you spend the entire night running for your life. As you make it back to the inn, exhausted, tired, you find Ven and E2 awake, eating breakfast. First in the inn at 5 a.m., since it seems to have slept in there. Dolkin eventually comes down, eats breakfast, heads back to the forge, I assume.
Yep.
Before Dolkin leaves, I'm gonna catch him and be like, "We really need to talk tonight, lad."
Well, don't get captured and put in a cell, and we'll have a chat.
Oh
I
wow.
make no promises on that.
Zaya, as you awaken, you find yourself in your room, stripped down, no clothes on,
What?
laying next
Kinky.
to what looks to be the female elven
Wait
wench.
a second. I
Yeah.
did not
Being
consent.
spooned.
I was
Being spooned.
I was.
As
Oh
Wait a
my.
second.
she has her face buried in your hair. You notice.
I want to make an investigation check.
Your tail is in somewhere inappropriate.
No, you're completely fine. Go ahead, roll investigation.
I remember passing out, but I'm pretty sure I would have known if I.
Well, last thing
Yeah.
you remember is passing out down in the main portion of the inn.
Yeah, but like,
The
You don't
tail is
remember me.
somewhat inappropriate.
oh no. Well, at least I can't get pregnant this way.
You can't anyways, given the situation. God damn it.
Okay, I got a 20. Wait, no, wait. I got a 12.
Alright, as
Sorry.
you
Wow.
suddenly look about, you realize your horns have been fully polished to a sparkle. You've been fully cleaned up, and you can see what looks to be a bowl of water with a large sponge sitting in it, sitting on the mantle of a small dresser. Also, you notice there are two other people inside the bed, but one looks to be a very hairy gnome, and the other, you're not sure what it is.
Do I have my own harem? Wait, what's happening?
As you kind of stir, the elven lass, as you remember her name is Olivia, wakes and suddenly just kind of hugs you closer and snuggles back into your hair and goes back to sleep.
I, she's just kind of like blinking. She's like, how? What is in that alcohol? And okay, she's gonna try to pinch herself. She's like, wait a second.
You're awake.
What
Unarmed strike attack
happened?
against yourself. Go.
No.
Are the other two also asleep?
Yeah. They seem to be curled up reverse, though. One seems to be spooning the other. The hairy gnome looks to be spooning whatever that fourth creature is that you're not sure. You kind of see what looks to be horns, but it's not a tiefling.
Can I do an Arcana check on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yay! Like, how trapped am I in this?
I mean, you're just being hugged by this one woman. You could easily get out of it if you chose to.
I got a 7.
Well, they all seem to have magic, except for the fourth figure that you don't know what it is.
Is
It
it
No,
from
they
the
tip
other
you off
world?
immediately.
You don't know.
Yeah, can I like look over myself, see if I have any suspicious bite marks on my neck or anything like that?
Well, you can't see on your neck at this point because there's no mirror in the room.
What if I have a handheld mirror?
Oh, do you?
It's
mean-
not a starting equipment, but I'm
If you have a mirror in your inventory, you should check
Wouldn't
that.
a mirror be included in a disguise kit for putting on makeup?
That is a good point. Do you have a disguise kit, Zaya?
Let me double check. I believe I do. I do have a
Alright, so as you look yourself over, yes, you seem to have what looks to be some slight bruising all along your neck and collarbone, but the dent in your head that you remember kind of slightly being there from the feel of it after Dolkin woke you up seems to have disappeared. You're at full health, and the headache's gone. You feel a little queasy from what you assume was the alcohol and not eating anything.
Zaya's like, huh? You know, this is probably the best condition I've been for. And she pauses, she's like, year? Has it been a year?
It's been a few months now.
Alright, well, I'm gonna get out of bed and get dressed carefully. Not anyone.
Alright, as you get out of
Namely
bed,
the
Do a
and
stealth roll.
start to get dressed, managing to Olivia kind of ignores you and kind of crawls back up in her own little spot and kind of curls up overall,
I'll tuck
taking
her
your.
in.
She takes your spot as well, seeing as it was warmer. Being of a tiefling, you tend to give off more
Yeah.
body heat. As you do start to move the blanket, you realize what that fourth creature was. It seems to be very shaggy with a white fur and big, broad horns. You realize it's a goat.
No. Okay, so I
You
was like,
fucked a goat.
I say, no, there's no. You know what? Zaya's just like, oh, it's gotta be. No, I'm not gonna have a crisis this early. No, I'm fine. She's just kidding. Like, no, this is fine.
All
I
right.
ate breakfast. I'm not gonna get in jail.
As Zaya comes
She
down,
screwed a goat.
Ven, Zorwin, E2, or Ven, you can smell the scent of sex on Zaya. It's pretty
I'm
potent.
gonna look at Zaya and be like, "You finally get some lust? Are you gonna calm down now?"
I fell asleep. I knocked out. I woke up, and there are two people in the bed and a goat.
I remember
I
a
think
goat
I'm
coming
gonna
through, but
have
that's
a
about it.
As you lot are chatting and Dolkin's
I
off.
guess I'll get breakfast for me and all the others. Well, no, I'm gonna get it only for the elf lady. I don't need to feed a goat and a gnome.
You're not gonna feed the goat last? I heard it go into your room.
Alright.
She's gonna look at bed and be like, "Have fun, talk again."
Oh
Alright.
yeah, it's always fun snuggling it too.
As you lot continue to chat, Dolkin taking off to the forge to work his craft again. Dolkin, go ahead and give me an intelligence check to see how you do. The rest of the party, as you do so, Robert's scarfing down his 20th plate at this point.
No, no.
At this point,
I'm
it's a
about to go to
sideshow.
sleep.
They have to set up a pay to watch.
Wow,
God damn it.
Dolkin. Wow.
I'm
But
It's a pay to watch.
I'm
They
gonna.
set it up to see.
God damn
I'm
it.
just gonna go back and sleep.
Okay.
As
Have a good
Robert
night.
crawls up to the room, he sees the elven woman laying in the bed where Zaya was. He can
Eh.
smell Zaya's scent, and then he sees a gnome and smells. Something smells off. It's not. As you kind of sniff at the room and kind of go over snuffling at the blankets, you see what looks to be an albino woman with white hair laying in the bed next to a hairy gnome.
Oh,
Wait a
change
second.
I just like nudge her a little bit
Second.
with a little grunt.
It ignores you.
She's well, at least I wasn't
It
so
puts them in a
for
headlock.
real.
No. Yep, it seems
Eh.
to ignore you as you snuffle
I-
at it.
I really don't care. I'm sleeping on the edge of the bed.
As you climb up this giant 6-foot boar, 300 pounds of nothing but pig meat, climbs up, crushing the feet of the gnome and the changeling. The elven woman luckily moves just in time as Robert just kind of collides with the bed.
Oh.
All who are in the inn can hear is a loud crash, what sounds like someone just smashed through a floor.
Saya's gonna pause because she's like at a plate. We're gonna get like food for Olivia, you know. Then
Hmm.
she's gonna pause and just like, oh no. And then she's gonna just like unwillingly trudge up there, just like with food in hand, just like I need another drink probably.
Alright, Zaya, as you walk up with the food, Dolkin and Zaya both give me dexterity saving throws.
Oh yeah, cause Dolphin.
Dolkin's heading
He's
towards the
walking out the
forge.
door.
No, Dolkin's heading towards the
Oh,
forge. Zaya,
no.
he's out on the street. And Zaya, what'd you get?
Hang on, I'm adding my
Dolkin, you are a master of intelligence and dexterity, my friend.
I can hit. I can hit the metal really hard when I'm working on it, but I don't really know what I'm
bad
doing.
rolls. I
Mhm.
swear, my dice literally hate me. I got
A what?
Try dicey.
a
A what?
12.
12? Okay. So, both Dolkin and Zaya, you suddenly find yourselves completely caught in what looks to be a dark room. Nothing is in there, but you see each other. The room is completely pitch black. Nothing seems to be around you.
You have to sacrifice one another to get out. Have fun.
What? I was just there was just I was just the food still in her hand, like
Yep.
the plate of food.
And
Just
Dolkin
laying
has
there, she's
what
lying
looks to be his smithing tools ready on his belt and getting ready to head in.
I
I've
was just
I've somehow smithed myself into a new dimension. The tales
love
they
this.
will tell about me.
I don't think that's the case. I heard Arcana check. She's gonna look around kind of doubtful
Okay, give me an Arcana check.
Sure, that's gonna go well.
of Dulkin's claim. Oh my gosh, what are my
Dolkin,
rolls?
the domain smith.
You have become
You're-
a new god.
I will be a
Enjoy.
legend.
Yep.
I got another 12. No, yeah, I got another 12.
Okay. Whatever this is very strong magic. The room is dark. And silent, though. Nothing seems to appear.
Try shouting out for something.
What's the plan? Oh, Zaya, we can't hear you. You're gonna have to type it. Your mic's cutting out bad. Alright, let's see what she says. I cut out, can you re-describe the room? Alright, so the room seems to be completely pitch black. There's nothing in it, and it seems to be a fully empty space. You can sense a very strong magical presence of the room.
Does the magic presence represent anything water?
Represent what? Anything what?
Water.
Water? No.
No. So it's not magic.
Is it a pool of blood that's sinking you to the ground?
Is it a pool of shame sinking you into Robert?
Shut. You just hate the drink.
Alright, as you lot are standing there, suddenly a door opens to the room and a bright light flashes. In walks Conrad, the well-fit dwarf and the charming young man.
Haha, welcome! Welcome to my room that I've smithed.
You did not get this. This is
Yes, yes, just I love this. Go,
He looks
go, my child.
he looks
Smith
at
realms.
he looks at Dolkin and says, "I did not know you were a smith of domains. Impressive."
I did not know either until just
He's a
now.
Smith, a big ego.
Well, most smiths from my home country have big egos. That's pretty common amongst dwarves, even our apparently fatter brethren.
I mean, they're 5 feet and 10 inches, and those are two separate measurements.
Well, something's got to get around with Dolkin. All right. The man looks at you a lot and says, "I'm gonna be honest. This wasn't meant for you two."
Oh, what did
So,
you do?
as he opens the door, "Get out, please."
What?
Are you trying to tell me I did not smith this room?
You did, and it wasn't
No,
meant
did
for
not
you. Now get out of this room. He looks at Dolkin with a smile on his face. Very charming young fellow.
Who's with Conrad?
Oh, no one's with Conrad. It's just him.
Oh, what is this room for?
He looks.
Fine, I
It's
will
a sex
leave.
dungeon.
I will leave, but I will find a way to smith a doorway back here, and I will be back.
Can you send me a door to a dungeon that actually have a great?
Isaiah seems to
gonna
be.
head towards
Go ahead.
the door. She's walking towards the door. She hasn't left.
Okay. Well, as Dolkin kind of gets close to the door, Conrad kind of jabs him out of the room a little quicker with his shoulder and says, "Move it, you bastard! Go make another domain somewhere else. I've got people to catch."
People to catch.
I swear to God, if he's gonna be trying to catch sex slaves, he better include Vinzorwood on this.
He looks at Zaya and kind of smiles at her and says, "Now it's your turn." And he kind of grabs her by the collar of her shirt and pulls her out. And then shuts
She's
the
not
door.
the forceful ones.
Both of you find yourselves back in the same room or the same place you were in. Dolkin back on the street heading towards the smith. Zaya standing at the hallway to the inn where you heard the giant plop of what sounded like what could have been an ooze or something of that sort. And nothing seems to be different other than the fact that you just had a weird experience.
I'll just mumble to myself, I made that room. I'm gonna figure out how to get back there. Nobody's gonna believe me, but I'm gonna do it.
People seem to look at Dolkin kind of strangely as he walks away, muttering to himself.
about a new realm that he just forged.
All right.
I forged that damn realm. I can
So
get
yes,
back there if I want to.
Dolkin, as you arrive at the smith, you see the smith chatting with what looks to be a very young. Gonna mute you for a second, Zaya, on my end. So, just because you're electrifying, I'll mute you here in a sec when I'm done with the description. So yes, as you walk up there. You see a young gnome, looks to be in a large hood. This man seems to have auburn-looking hair, normal colored skin. Um, by an angry. I am not an angry god. Um, and he seems to be talking with the smith vigorously and almost with a bit of anguish as the two continue on a subject about something about an apprentice smith he's searching for.
Hello, Smith. I'm here for another day's worth of training.
And he says, "Ah, the man I was looking for." And he says, "Let me introduce you to the owner of the King's Head." And
Hello.
That's familiar.
the man looks at you and says, "I'd like to hire you."
My services are definitely for sale.
How much would it cost to have you create something for me made of pure lyrium?
That depends. What you're looking for me to make.
A stopwatch or a watch of sorts.
Of course you would want that.
Then are you also providing the materials for said project?
He kind of opens his cloak and pulls out a bag, shoves his hand into the bag. You don't see an indent in the bag at all as the hand goes in and pulls out something and says, "Yes," and he hands you what looks to be a vial of blue liquid, very similar to the material you have in an inglet.
Well then, I believe we can come to an agreement as to how much this will cost you.
All right, how much are we looking at? And I need it
Uh,
within the day.
and I'll like side look at the master smith and be like, how much would you charge for this?
He says, "Well, it depends on the master smith kind of goes, the design," and he pulls out this piece of paper that or unravels this piece of paper that you just now notice he's been holding. He says, it's rather complicated, young man. Uh, with pure lyrium and the chance of explosiveness from heating it, and the ignorance of your level, I'd say 300 gold pieces should be a fine price. It shouldn't take you more than half a day's to smith this."
I'll turn back to the man like, I will offer my services for 300 gold.
400.
He looks to you and says, "Done," and he hands you 300 gold pieces in a bag.
Wow.
Thank you, sir, and I will get right on this.
Good. I'll be back here by the end of the day. I expect it to be in condition.
Yes, sir, right away, sir.
And the man kind of looks to the master smith, smiles, and says, and he, for a second, turns to Dulcan as you start to head back into the smith. "If a man with bright white hair, purple eyes, and pale skin comes of asking, don't tell him about me or who that watch is for."
Just making a watch myself, sir. Nothing here.
You see a slight smile under the dark hood as he turns, waves his hand, and a bright brown door appears before him. And he opens it. As you kind of look in, kind of taking a sneak peek, trying to figure out where this guy is going, you see what looks to be almost a fancy tavern, like one you'd expect in the King's Hall. And he just walks in and closes the door as the door vanishes. And the master smith. Yeah, go ahead.
Just start muttering to myself, oh, he's got that fancy smith dimension too. I'm gonna figure out how to do that.
The master smith kind of looks at you for a second as he hears a little bit of what you say about smithing a door to another dimension. He's like, "You're nuts," and he goes back to working. All right, Zaya, Robert, E2, and Ven, as you lot are relaxing, Zaya bringing up the food to Alluvia, who thankfully eats it. Now you see what looks to be a changeling laying in the bed where the goat was. Robert laying on the hairy gnome's feet as he's trying to shove Robert off with like the death grip here.
Robert, you're not my familiar or pet. What are you doing in my room? Oh my god. Zaya's just gonna roll her eyes and look at the gnome and be like, "Well, sorry, I'm not messing with that. You'll have to deal with that on your own.
He looks at you and says, "Lass, move to the left a little bit."
Okay, I do so.
He pulls out what looks to be a small little dagger that looks very dull.
Please
No.
let him eat him.
Starts
Please let him
cast
eat
it.
him.
Starts casting what looks to be something that makes the dagger glow bright red, and smacks it right onto Robert's ass as Robert's ass starts to burn with a fire. Robert charges out of there, breaking down the door, running out the inn again. And looks and smiles, trying not to laugh, says, "Ah, that works."
Ah, very, very good.
And he shows you the dagger as it cools, and you see his markings of it says the hairy gnome on it. He says, "Forever after, he'll remember me real well." Shoves it back into his what you
Smells like
guess.
bacon in the room now.
Pretty much. He shoves it back into his what you guess his boxer briefs or something of that sort, or small cloth, and then gets out of bed and leaves with the changeling coming
The
behind
old
him.
prison wallet.
So, Saya's gonna turn to Luvia and be like, "So, what exactly happened last night? I took a drink and I think it was a bit too strong for my taste."
Olivia smiles at you with a very gentle and kind word and goes, "Well, we spent the night together having a passionate romp after you suddenly awoke and called me to your room as I came to check on you after the dwarven fellow went and passed out. He mentioned something about her a good run for her money, from what I remember. And thus I joined you, and the other two, I thought they were friends of yours, to be honest."
No, I don't know those people.
"Well, I didn't know the boar either, but he still managed to almost crush my feet."
Yes, that person I do know, and he's a pain.
You hear a squeal come by as it continues off down the distance down the road.
She's gonna sigh heavily and be like, "Was it you who healed the dent in my head, or what I assume was a dent in my head?" And she's gonna touch her forehead.
"Ah, yes, I served for a few years as one of the faithful to the High King during one of the first great purges. Long story with that. But yes, I also served against the Dwarven Empire when I was younger.
Quite a life you've had.
Well, we elves live long and sometimes prosperous, similar to your friend down there, the one known as Venzoran, or as my people call him, the traitor."
The trader.
"Yes, but that's a story long forgotten to history."
Well, thank you regardless for the healing.
"Of course. I mean, you paid it back in kind," and she gives you kind of a coy
She seems
smile.
to remember why I'm the
I would
traitor.
be very, very ashamed of myself if I didn't. And Zaya's just gonna give back her own smile and then be like, huh, that drink, whatever it is, the house special, sure is something.
"Oh, it's black ooze from the dungeon. We use it. We get it from the prisoners we keep down there on occasion. It's a mix of their magical essence, claimed from their veins, mixed with a actual black ooze to make it tolerable to drink.
Huh, I
Oh.
guess that explains it."
It can also kill people if they're not careful and they drink too much of the stuff. That's why we don't recommend more than 1 cup." But yes, as you two continue having a happy chat, Robert, as you're out running around, sprinting, hiding, trying to get the burning mark, you finally find a nice little watering hole that seems to have a nice fountain that goes into a little botanical garden, for the public to walk through, and you basically go and sit down in it, shoving your butt down to cool everything off. The people around you look at you kind of strangely. At this point, it's also, you notice there's a boar farmer that has come into town with a bunch of female sows.
Not interested.
What
Wow.
about males?
Not interested. I have a family. Just
You
Oh.
you do notice that 2 of them do have long beards like yours, though.
Well, do I suck at stealth? I probably do suck
You
at
do
stealth.
suck at stealth.
Blend in.
I. What?
Failure
I'm
to
going
attempt to
to
blend in.
calmly. I'm going to like not stealthily, but I'm going to like trot behind, trying to blend in with them, and see if I can communicate with the other bearded boars.
So to the public, they just see this giant boar walk from the fountain, drop down on all fours, and this is again a 6-foot boar. Now the average giant boar is about 3 feet tall.
True.
This comes trotting up behind like he's one of the little horde here, sticking completely out like an elephant amongst rhinos. The
Is the
man,
boar farmer okay with this
he
or
doesn't
no?
even seem to pay attention as the boars are just following him with that carrot he has on the stick. As they continue following it, you lot see, or you continue on, and the boars look at you, and you recognize them, 2 of your sons.
Whoa.
Uh-huh. And
They
who are
are
they?
blending in into the two bearded boars.
Okay, can I try and see if they can speak?
Both of them seem to communicate in common perfectly, and both Henry and Jeffrey look at you with big smiles, and you see on both of the backsides, as they're not wearing any clothes, they have what looks to be brands of their names on their ass. And as they look at you, they look kind of at you for a second and see, Father, Harry Gnome?
Harry? I'm Robert.
They examine you walking around you and seeing the burn mark on your ass. And yeah,
What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be with family?
small one. He looks. Henry seems to look for the words, being the dumber of the two. Jeffrey looks at it and says, "Uh, why are you both so dumb?" The small
Me at the
ones,
party.
the small one sold us to this dude for a small profit. We protect the horde, and the whore. She's the big sow up front.
How is your mother? Is she well?
Don't know. Haven't seen her since you left. Jeffrey
Oh.
continues. Pippa has left the place and just basically left his laboratory to head back home.
And of your siblings?
Some of us have been sold, and we're all out and about. Last I saw, we traveled through the mountain dwarf lands, where 2 of us got sold to the king. That
King of
one,
what?
mountains, I assume. The big pointy things, father. He looks at you
Oh,
with sadness in his eyes at the ignorance of you. And a few of us got sold off to a mountain elf with the last name of Yozen. Old elfin people. Old pointy-eared
oh,
people.
huh.
Similar
Pendorowin.
similar to the one that follows you a lot around. I think it was his son.
Hmm. And your mother is nowhere to be found?
Oh, small one ate her from what we saw.
What?
He just says casually.
Oh.
I just sort of, I just look at them both with blankly with tears. Like I'm not crying. I'm not like sobbing. I'm just
Hmm.
like looking at them, tears forming in my eyes and just dropping.
Yeah, they look at you and say, "Well, we've got to get back to work. We're getting paid by the hour to watch these ones and protect them." And they start to continue off with the little horde.
Make me grandkids! And I just trot off again.
They seem to continue on their way as you get back up on 2 feet or 2 hooves and run off. All right, Ven and E2, as you continue enjoying your day, relaxing in the comfort of the inn, is there anything you lot wanted to get up to for the day?
I'm just hanging
Um, I'll just step out on the street. I'm get tired of not having any gold or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
So
yeah,
we need to
he
figure.
doesn't have anything.
I have armor and a short sword.
That I gave you.
Yep.
All right.
Someone
So I'm
help
gonna
this
look at
guy.
it too and be like, we need to find a way to earn some money.
All right, how do you suppose we do that?
One, we find a job. Not the greatest idea.
As you two are chatting about this, trying to figure out how to get money, you see a very large, like Dulkin-sized dwarf, run past, screaming and shouting as about 12 guards continue chasing her as gold pieces seem to fly out of her purse, of her little handbag.
I'm gonna go out and start picking
no,
them up.
I know what you're thinking, but
As you,
she's running from probably the police. Those are stolen.
Yeah,
We
if we turn them
shouldn't
in,
do
we might get a reward.
you hear
no,
her
no,
shout,
no, no.
"Yeah, you'll never catch Bertha alive!" And she continues running at a full sprint.
Bertha.
I'm gonna go out and collect the evidence and have it ready for the police.
No,
The
no,
guards
no, no, no.
completely ignore
I
you,
grab his
continuing to
shirt
run
and I
past.
start pulling on him.
All right.
Gold coins
The guards
sputtering
are
all
ignoring
over.
us.
People are grabbing him off the street. You
I'm
see,
gonna take as many as I can. I will cast magic if I have to. I'm gonna look as intimidating as possible.
you manage to get 5 gold pieces before the guards start looking at you suspiciously.
Was it worth it?
Aw.
Did you get what you wanted?
And
Yeah, we
the
got
woman
gold from
runs
booze.
off around a corner, screaming.
I'll hand
Oh
it if the
my-
guards come over asking for it. I'll hand it over to them.
Cackling. Alright, at the same time, you suddenly see young and rather quiet Dibus walking simply down the street, heading towards where Dolkin originally headed.
I kind of want to go check on Dolkin, but I know I can't afford a sword, so I'm not gonna bother.
Alright. So what's the plan, Ven and E2?
Well, we can go for a walk around the city and see if anyone else drops money that we can try and return for a reward.
I'm just supervising him at this point.
So's the rest of the party.
What?
Yep. Yep.
Alright.
Well, let's just wander around the city.
As you lot start walking, any general direction you want to go from this tavern? Or in?
Away from any guards. Away from the highest concentration of guards, so not towards the castle.
Alright, so south. Back towards the harbor. As you start
Not
walking...
towards that either. I don't trust the Lord.
Oh, I don't want to go towards this boat.
Okay.
That evil guy's
Yeah.
there.
Going east, heading off at the only direction you lot really haven't explored other than to the church. You lot start heading off. See, people continue to chatter. Salesmen here, yelling for their goods over one another. You finally catch up with Robert, who seems to have tears running down his eyes, but doesn't seem to be actively crying.
Robert, what's wrong, bro?
My
You
wife,
okay,
okay?
bud?
Tiny man ate my wife.
Oh,
Tiny men will do
yeah.
that.
But they'll
Ben,
have
that's not
grandkids soon,
helping
so I'm
us.
fine.
I mean, question, was your wife one of your kind?
Yes. Tiny men
Lad,
made us.
Lad,
my wife.
your kind are delicious. That ham you were eating, it's made out of your kind.
Don't think you should have
They
told him.
taste delicious. I taste delicious.
Yes, you do.
I should eat my own
I
leg.
pat Robert's back. Just don't eat yourself. You're our emergency food supply.
Can I eat dog?
No.
No. It too is off limits. If you
I
want to
taste
cut off your
awful.
own leg and eat it, you can. I won't stop you. I recommend highly against it, but I won't stop you.
But doggy no hungry?
Doggy not hungry.
Oh, I can't eat doggy. Sad.
All
You
right.
can go eat a different dog. I saw some down an alley that way. I point behind me.
Ben, stop encouraging him to eat stray dogs.
DM.
As you two are chatting, or you three are chatting, you see what looks to be that dwarven lady seems to suddenly come running past again, screaming. This time she has,
But her.
well, this time she has 4 bags of gold in her hands, where last
Can I
time she only had
just,
1, and there's more guards.
Or no?
Go.
Can I just put my foot out and trip her?
All right, both of you go ahead and roll attack rolls to see if you can hit her.
Okay. Do I
Just
have
let
to
me.
roll just an RD20?
Yep,
Okay, that's fine.
Is this unarmed attack so that I
pretty
have my
much.
+7?
Yeah, it's an unarmed attack, so if you have that, then add that.
I got an 8.
20 plus 7.
Holy shit.
Oh
You don't
boy.
mess with the cleric.
As you
Oh my
stick
God.
your foot out, the woman, first Robert tries to headbutt into this woman, seeing how large he is and how predictable his movements are. The woman seems to easily dodge out of his way, dodging straight into Ven's feet, toppling over, losing one of the bags of gold, managing to keep a hold of the other three, and rolls to continue running off.
I tried.
Tiny
There's
lady is fast.
there's
I'm
now
faster.
there's now about 75 guards chasing after this woman. Whereas before there was about 10.
Can I chase
Do they
after
ignore
tiny
the
lady?
dropped bag of gold?
What was that, Ven?
Do they ignore the dropped bag of gold?
Oh yeah.
I pick it up.
Can
Alright.
I chase after
That's
tiny lady?
stolen money.
Yeah, Robert, as you start to chase, you pile in next to the guards who look at you kind of weird, but kind of ignore the whole situation. One tries to jump on you and realizes that you're sentient.
Oh, well, while I'm chasing them, I cast Earth Tremor and try and make a wall just to stop her from moving.
How much gold did I get?
All right. First off, so yes, as you start to cast the spell, the guard jumps off you, realizing you're actually a person, not just a riding boar. And as you cast the spell, it seems to negate as it goes in front of her.
Tiny lady knows spells.
And then
Run.
you manage to pick up 10 pieces of gold from that bag.
I got gypped.
Yep. You start to think back on it, you realize when she tucked and rolled and dropped the bag, she pulled a big hand scoop of most of it into one of the other bags.
You know what? Is she still within
No
range for a
one's
spell?
stopping birth.
She's running. She's gone at this point, along with the
Don't
guards.
Is she within 120 feet? Is she within 120
She'd be
feet?
right about that at the edge of that.
Guiding bolt. I'm guiding bolting her ass.
Ben, stop!
First
You're gonna get us
level.
in trouble.
As you do so, it seems to go launch straight at her, going directly in her direction. As it gets close enough, she seems to smash her hand backwards, and the spell gets bounced back, hitting a Robert in the face.
Okay, hold on.
And she flips the bird at all of you. Token.
I didn't do anything.
That's 8 damage.
Yeah, 8 damage to Fort Robert in the face as he gets smacked with this guiding bolt. And she goes, "You'll never catch the best thief in the world!" And she continues running at a full pace.
I'm just gonna keep wandering around town, hoping I run into her, because I'm gonna kill her now. Now I have a reason
Oh my
to live.
god.
I'm gonna
You're a
kill this
cleric.
bitch.
You're a cleric.
I don't
Meanwhile,
care, she jigged me.
Doken, about the same time is when you're out doing a quick run for some supplies, and you see what just happens, and just kind of, yeah.
Zaya isn't there.
Nope.
You don't see Zaya
Nope.
associated.
You see Robert
Ben
chasing
tried to be
after.
a Good Samaritan and help the guards, so you can't really blame him here.
You see Robert chasing after on all fours with a gnome guard riding on his back after a dwarven woman with 3 large bags of what you can see as gold and jewels. And then you see that suddenly Robert gets smacked in the face by a guided bolt from Van Zorwin, and E2 is just sitting there ashamed.
I'm telling him to stop.
I'm trying to help the guards. At least I'm
You
trying
should
to
be
help
questioning your standards, E2.
Zaya,
I love
after
him.
after a few seconds, you see this happen outside of your window as the lot continue to chase. Now there's almost
Zaya-
150 guards chasing this one woman who now has 7 bags of gold under her belt.
Zaya's
At
gonna
least
look there
Ben
and
is
look
trying
at.
to help.
Go ahead, Zaya.
Zaya's gonna look at Olivia and be like, "I was gonna ask you to take me on that tour to the city, but now I don't think I want to go out there."
She looks out and says, "Oh, not again.
Again?
Your party is the most ridiculous situation I've ever seen."
Yes, I'm afraid when it came to luck, I got not the short end of the stick. I didn't get any end of the stick. When it
At
came
the
to luck.
mention of the short end of the stick, you hear squealing Boar run by with the guards as well as the continuous clatter. You
Or
hear
Vin, I'm
E2
gonna
yelling
push
at
it
Ven. You hear E2 yelling at Ven to stop it and go away and go somewhere else.
Fine, fine. I'm gonna go where Itu wants to go. Itu gets the lead for us from now on. We come
Cool.
across her again, though. I'm stabbing at her.
Do I see Dalkin out there as
Nope.
well? No.
Dolgan's back at the smithy at this
Well,
point.
okay. So I was gonna turn to Luvia and be like, "Well, it's been lovely, I believe. Like again, I don't remember what much of what happened, but I have to go find a colleague, teammate, whatever, to inform him about some business that we didn't get to inform to last night because you." She gestures out the window. She's like, "You probably know what happened, right?
Oh
That
yes.
yes. I'll be back after though. Perhaps if things settle down, you can finally give me that tour."
Or you can go for round 2.
All right.
Oh.
As she just kind of nods and kind of curls back up into the bed, kind of nodding off. As noon comes around, you still hear the occasional guards clattering about, and at this point, there's almost a full army chasing around in a
Go,
giant
Bertha!
circle.
Does Bertha pass me again? I swear to God, I'm gonna stab her.
Depends. Where does E2 want to go? What direction are you heading?
Away from her. Far away from
You
her.
don't
All right.
know. You
As
don't know where she
E2
goes. Come
and
on.
Ven start to head out of the city, head towards the gates of the city, maybe to take a small tour of the countryside. You manage to get out, and you see Bertha for a second glimpse about 3 streets over, but she's too far away at this point to attack. And E2 seems to be pulling you out of the gates and out to the countryside to take a nice
Oh wait,
walk.
no, spells don't work on her. Can I throw a rock?
You still see Robert on the chase squealing. This
Can I-
woman now
wait,
has a
wait,
pile
wait,
of
hold
gold
on.
so large at this point it's towering over her head. There are
Hold on.
gems and other
Can I-
things.
Then
Can
looks
I
very
just, like,
sad and very
full
upset,
charge
but he's
at
accepting it
full
and just walks out sadly.
All
At least I
right,
got 15, so I can at least give to a nice dinner is going through his head.
Robert, what'd you
Oh,
say?
do you want to take me to dinner?
Okay.
Let's go.
Can I at
would,
this
but we only
point
got
just
15
like go
gold.
full on dash? Can I at this point just go full on dash and just try to have her sit, like force her onto my back
All right, go
and then
ahead.
try to rodeo her?
That's let's see. Let's do an athletics check for you, and she'll do her
Okay.
save. Yeah.
Come on. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I got a +5 in athletics.
Yeah, cause you're good at you're a boar. You're good at chasing things.
I
Hang
mean,
on.
I have a +7 in athletics.
Let me try
Wish
that.
I was the
I'm
boar.
not
Yeah.
very
What's going on?
athletic.
It's /R1d20 + 5.
Oh, right.
You gotta specify.
Okay.
I didn't have to.
Yeah. What's going on?
Oh, wait. Do you not? There you go.
Oh,
It
there
took
we
a
go.
second. It loaded.
Okay.
So, with the first one, a 13 we'll use.
Yeah.
As you charge up, catching up to this woman, and try to kind of use your face to toss her up onto your back, you get up next to her, and as you get right up to the chance where you're about to, she seems to suddenly kick up the speed even faster and goes a quicker pace, and is now on a full-on blaze as fire is starting to pick up from her feet.
Bertha!
She goes,
Go,
"You'll never
Bertha!
catch me!" And you see in her,
Someone
you
let me
see,
throw a
You'll
rock at
never
her. Can I
catch
just
I
her.
throw a
rock
counter
into
spell
her
at her.
she
I throw a
throws-
fucking counter spell
she
at her.
throws. She has in her arm throwing or holding what looks to be a very old bra, and is laughing as you start to notice it says the Queen's property if lost.
Oh, that just enrages me. I just go full on sprint at this point.
You
You're not
can't
gonna
seem to
catch
catch up to this woman. She keeps getting faster the closer you get.
Get far away and she'll get slow.
As-
Tiny woman, I will get you.
Finally, she starts. The guards continue chasing. Most of them at this point barely good at keeping up, wheezing a lot of them. As she finally rounds again near the inside, you see she's got almost 35 bags of gold. That is literally now a full tower above her and a crown on the top of it with a bra in one hand, and she is gone as she exits the western gate of the city.
Oh.
I just plop down by the gate, just panting out of my mind.
You make it there about 5 minutes after she's already left. That's how fast she got.
Tiny
just-
woman, I will have my revenge.
I just wanted to go to the smith and tell Dolkin about the world
Ven's
thing.
grumbling about lost chances with gold, but happy that he got something to treat Itu with.
Well, as Van and E2 head out into the countryside, they run into a young farmer, or young gnomish farmer who seems to be bringing a massive bushel of apples, or a massive basket of apples. He kind of tosses you both one without even saying a word and smiles and says, "For the young dog," and continues on his way.
Hey.
Ben, seems like luck is on our side today, Loss.
Yep, and Zaya,
None
as
of
you finally
mine.
manage to get out of the inn, realizing all that's gone on today, and make it up to the smithy, you see Dolkin seems to be working hard away at what looks to be something kind of tiny in his hand as the smith keeps yelling at him, "You idiot! Stop trying to heat it! You cool it first!"
At the
Zaya's
same time,
just
Doken's still grumbling about the frickin'
she'll
forging a new
she'll
realm.
wait outside. She's not gonna interrupt him or anything. She'll probably wait outside, pull
Okay.
out her lute, and like just lightly, quietly strum at the strings to occupy herself.
All right.
She'll wait.
As time goes on and Dolkin finally finishes up, you see a figure comes up. This auburn haired gnome in a cloak seems to suddenly appear out of a doorway to a bar slash tavern that looks very familiar, but with an underwater theme. And he comes out in a cloak and says, "Ah, Zaya, Blinton has been asking after you day in and day out."
Zaya like looks curious, and then as soon as he mentions Blinton, she's just like, "Oh no."
Shall I
Oh,
give him
it
your
is that.
regards?
I
Tell him you
believe
did
he
find me.
deserves. Should he deserve an explanation?
I don't know. He will forever
I'll,
live there. If you ever wish to meet him again, just find one of my
I
many
Did
invitations.
you? She's gonna like pull up like paper or lay down Infernal and just hand it to me like, can you? You could give that
You
to
mean the
him.
paper Robert ate?
Oh, darn it, Robert.
Yeah.
Tell him
Ask for
that I
Yes,
don't
Master Slim
think
Sister?
we'll be able to have any more arrangements like that in the future.
He will be so sad to hear that. Although I guess he
Can
hasn't
he come
figured
back
out.
to me too?
No, he's not. He's at the smithy waiting for Dolkin to finish up his watch.
Come
Eh,
find me then. He needs to come find me.
He looks at you and says, "It's such a shame." I mean, of course, he doesn't know that you're his great grandniece, but that's another story altogether. And he looks about and says,
Yes.
Is the one known as Dolkin about? I was expecting my watch about this time of day."
I saw him working in the smith being yelled at. I'm waiting for him myself to finish up. I assume he's probably done by now.
Well, he looks about, and as Dolkin continues to hammer away the last few hits to it, getting yelled at more and more to stop trying to heat it because he forgets. Um, he pulls out a little vial and uncorks and says, "Care for a drink?"
You know what? Can I just like look at it? I'm assuming Arcana strong. It'd be like, okay, okay, how strong is that drink?
Let it be fire whiskey.
I had something that knocked me out not too long ago.
Well, he takes a sip of it and says, "Oh, it's just normal drink for me."
Well, what's the chance I'll die?
If you die from it, then I guess you really did have no constitution to you.
At least that's some
I'll
gold.
like, you know what? The world's falling apart. I'll just small sip.
And he hands as you take a sip of it. It tastes like it's just like a normal warm whiskey. It's got an oaky taste to it. And he says, "Yes, I know. The world seems to be a much larger place these days. Nothing like when I
Yes.
was a young man." And he said, as Dolkin kind of walks forward with the watch, he says, "Ah, young apprentice, I am so happy to see that you managed to finish the watch for me."
Yes, it is. It is complete. It is working perfectly. But I have to ask you, how do you do that door thing you do?
Tolkien, you can't smith a door to another dimension.
He looks to Zaya and
Shut
says,
up.
"Actually, you can. It just takes a lot of skill and the understanding of basic concepts of time magic. Um, in
See, I
truth,
told you it was a thing.
But you're not in time magic.
Watch me.
I mean, I could teach you if you like. If you are arcana or magically blessed, wouldn't take me long."
I would be interested in learning if that was possible.
He looks to Zaya and smiles. "It would mean you'd have to spend more time with your great grandfather."
I would have to
No.
explain to him the
Wait, Ben would
situation.
enjoy it in there. What are you talking? What am I talking about?
But Dolkin, young man, if you are interested in ever learning how to do it, he hands you a small little black card with his name and title on it, and you see that it says Zelm on it, the Time Wizard, and then below says the owner of the King's Crown or the
I
King's
have a
Head.
serious question about that. Does Ben Zorwin know of this place?
No.
Damn.
And he says, if you ever have an interest, young Dolkin, expect us to see one another quite a bit in a few years. But in the meantime, this is my card, and feel free that any time you should need me or an emergency should come up, just burn it, and you will be brought to me immediately.
That sounds great. Here's your watch, and I may take you up on that offer someday.
And he takes the watch and looks at it and flips it open, looking at the craftsmanship. He says, uh, he looks to you for a second and says, "I assume I came at the wrong time." And he kind of giggles at that as he closes the watch.
That was you're a time wizard joke. I get it.
He
The
smiles and says,
answer is
"That's not exactly what I meant, but it is a good joke. I meant, no, I assume that you have yet to meet Ogum."
Oh no, I haven't met Ogum. No, I haven't done that.
Ah, so you're not the smith I was looking for. I guess another time. These time periods get so confusing these days. Ah, well, in the future we'll see each other again. And with that, he opens the door and walks through, ignoring you both, and closes it behind him.
Man, that door thing is so cool.
You know what? I think I know what I'm gonna do.
All right.
What is it?
Tolkien,
I have
are
a
you
plan.
done with work for the day now?
The master smith at that question here and then says, "Well, it can't get any worse, so I might as well send him home."
I believe I'm done for the day.
Good. We have some explaining to do. The others were supposed to be here yesterday before that
As
fiasco went down, and she makes a face.
as Robert comes walking up, panting, his ass still getting
No.
that bright burn mark on it.
Robert, don't break anything. Don't break anyone. Please. Okay. And she'll turn to Dulkin and do I gotta explain it all myself?
Well, Dolkin doesn't know anything, so it's best to explain it the best you can, what you remember.
Alright. Basically, those people, we had a feeling they were not right. They're from another world. Somehow got a portal dimension, a doorway. Let's call it a doorway to our world. And now they are our underworld, their underworld, which is apparently 10 times worse than ours because their magic is 10 more powerful, have mixed. So now they want people like us and other adventurers to mosey on over with the possibility to learn all this powerful magic and the possibility, very strong possibility, to die, but apparently day, the people we fought, the Black Widow and her gnomes are going to be coming here, murdering everybody. So as far as I see it, we have death in another world or death here if we don't start moving.
So you're saying there's two battles. One will be more difficult. I
But
think it's
have
pretty
higher
straightforward.
reward.
I,
The
I, I,
other
ha- I have to go for the more difficult battle. That's definitely the most challenging, and it'll prove that the armor I make is top tier.
At the
if
mention
you
of
could
this,
make
this
me
Master Smith
more
laughs and
powerful
says, "Yeah, that armor's gonna fall apart real quick, though."
Well, if you could make me powerful armor, that'd be appreciated. And she kind of looks at her leather armor and like shaking her head slightly.
Ooh,
He
don't do leather.
Master Smith comes up and says, "You don't want him to do it. Trust me. Allow me to explain what happened to a customer earlier today." He starts to regale you with a tale of the armor literally breaking and smashing in the customer and crushing their chest. Says, "I don't even know how he did it." He is a
Well,
mage.
How did you get hired by the what? How? Duncan, you were making weapons fine on the boat before the battle. Just those gnomes. What happened?
See, the thing is, some days you
He
just don't
drank
got it.
too much.
Some days you just don't got it, and maybe I'm feeling off today.
Master
I
Smith
guess
mutters
that's
under his
fair,
breath. Yes, some days.
Considering our whole situation, I suppose I can't blame you. But the others
But hey,
talk.
at least I didn't end up in jail.
Well, I guess
I feel like that's a cheap shot.
Zaya's just gonna kind of eye him, be like, "Yeah, you always seem to end up in the better situations." But point is, everyone has to talk this out because there's still the one place we're supposed to go in the Gnomish Lands, Dragon Slayer, I believe, something like that. But again, this new world is very intriguing, if dangerous.
As you guys continue to talk, the Master Smith kind of goes back into the shop for a second, holding up a finger as you guys are chatting. Comes back out and says, Duncan, I figured out what your problem is, by the way. And he kind of
Everything.
grabs your face, pulls you up towards him, almost like he's about to kiss you for a second. This very old genocide, and then says, "Stay."
Okay.
Grabs
What?
grabs something out of his pocket and shoves it onto your face very violently. Suddenly, the world is a lot clearer.
Duncan needs glasses.
You got a plus
Oh!
+3 to intelligence rolls from here on out.
Zaya's just like, wait, did he literally just get glasses?
Yep, he's got really
Zaya's
nice
looking,
glasses.
and she's like, "You've been blind this whole time."
That explains so much.
He looks at you and says,
In
I had a
battle-
feeling.
In battle, when you were fighting people, you couldn't see.
No, in battle they're close enough. I mean, it's a big target. I just got to swing a big hammer.
He looks at her and says, "Yeah, see, the Ingans weren't big enough targets, apparently," as he smashed my hands and he pulls out his purple, bruised hands many times.
Yeah. It's like, well, yeah, it seems like wherever he goes, tattoos and some. And she kind of rubs her forehead, like, well, at least he didn't bash me with anything yet.
Well, if he does now,
Yep,
he's doing it on
definitely
purpose.
didn't do that.
He looks to Duncan and says,
Zaya's
"Alright,
inside
out of my shop, you two. I've got to close up for the night. I got a family and kids and someone to explain why I've got a bruised, swollen hand. My wife might be happy at least for it." And with that, he kind of shoves Dolkin out of the way, starts closing up
Right.
shop.
Zaya's leaving, and she's gonna put her loot away that she was playing. Well, now we have to find the others, and hopefully they're not in jail or doing something stupid.
Then if you were just gonna
because
walk up, then shaking a small bag of coins. Well, that lady was good for something. I have a plan now.
yes.
As you
Is
lot
that your
lady.
plan?
As you lot gather finally together once again, this time no prison, no guards chasing you, no hatred. Robert quietly not
We hate
squealing.
each other.
And
Still
Dolkin
lick
finally,
his butt because it's
Finally,
burned.
you can see everyone's faces.
Dolkin can
And
clearly
they're not
see the
good.
entire village and realizes these were gnomes, not dwarves, the entire time. Realizing he actually is kind of on the chubbier side since what he remembers last time he could see before the smithing accident that he suddenly recalls might have caused this at some point. All right. With that, we are going to end the session for tonight because the DM does have some other things he has to go do. I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We will see you next time with the D&D session. Look forward to this week on Saturday. If we do not have Grim Legacy session, we will be looking at a YouTube upload of some lore. We will be going through the founding videos. Myself, Cameron, and Fuka shall be doing some work with that. Look forward to that in the
sounds
future.
fun.
So,
Yeah,
chat with you all
this should be
later,
fun.
and we'll come back. All right. Oh, wrong. I meant to hit end stream.